Bitcoin is back above 67,000 after a wild session on Tuesday. The crypto hit an all-time record of $69,202. Now, if you stretch it out week to date, look at this. You can see where Bitcoin hit that high, briefly becoming the 8th largest asset in the world before tumbling. Yeah, it then tumbled. But then, now it's coming back here. Most analysts are attributing the sell-off to profit-taking and miners offloading some of their holdings. Now, with crypto up 60% this year alone, can Bitcoin finally break past $100,000 in 2024? I want to bring in Galaxy Digital Holdings CEO Mike Novogratz. He's here in a Fox Business exclusive. We want your first reaction to the moment it hit that fresh, brand new record, Mike.
Well, there was a big hoot and holler on the trading floor here, right? We have a big trading business. We execute trades for institutions, and all our salesmen and traders screamed out and cheered. Listen, we are in a new phase of Bitcoin, right? You've just opened up the boomers to Bitcoin, and so boomers do Bitcoin, right? There are $48 trillion of kind of liquid wealth in the baby boomer generation, right? 95 trillion overall. And they're making an allocation. And so when we have, for the first time ever, anyone who wanted to buy Bitcoin can buy it, we're kind of at price discovery. And with price discovery, it's hard to see where things will go. In general, when you come 330% from a low to a 3-year high, you don't take it out on the first time. I can't find one trade where you go from 15,000 to 69,000 and go right through. And so we bounced off yesterday. But man, oh man, there is buying that's continuing. And so I think we're going to take out 69,000 fairly soon. And then who knows? Like, I like to say 100,000 because it's a round number. But when you're in price discovery, you don't know where the buying stops. Like, prices are set on the margin. And right now there are more buyers than sellers. What is
this catalyst, though, aside from the fact that there's been a momentum trade? Things have started to look good. Then, of course, the spot Bitcoin ETFs, which, of course, one you have. And I just would love to know what else is pushing it to these new highs.
The number one thing is this ETF, because it's opened up this gigantic wealth channel to be able to buy Bitcoin very easily. And so you saw Rick Reeder mentioned filed a report that his $38 billion fund at BlackRock will be able to buy the ETF in his fund. And so small allocations of big funds is a lot of Bitcoin. And like, what are the macro stories? The Fed is going to cut rates at one point. But more importantly, we've had a banking crisis today again. Every one of these stories plays into Bitcoin, right? The election more than anything. Right, that we've got Donald Trump, who half the country see as deranged, and Joe Biden, who half the country see as way too old. Those are our choices. No one really has a lot of confidence that you're going to see fiscal prudence, right? We're adding, $1 trillion of debt in very short intervals to our budget deficit. And as long as the federal government is going to spend 25% of GDP on government and not 20 like we used to, Bitcoin's going to go higher. Like, Bitcoin is a report card on fiscal prudency, and there's no fiscal prudency right now.
A report card on fiscal prudency. Mike, you talked about 69,000, the next way stations and points on the road. 100,000 this year?
I think so. I really do. Again, I can't tell you if we're going to go through 69 in the next day, week, or 2 months. It wouldn't surprise me if we take it out, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we bounce between, 58 and 69,000 until some of this buying gets digested, and then the next move up. It's really hard to say right now because there's just this almost like this runaway momentum in these ETFs. I mean, they've raised $7.5 billion of new capital. And it just keeps coming in.
Yeah, and yours, by the way, for our viewers, is the Invesco Galaxy Bitcoin ETF, BTCO. Really quick, because, again, Nikki Haley, she dropped out of the race today. Dean Phillips, the Democrat who you had actually supported, also announced today he's out. If you had to plug your nose and vote for one of the two apparent presumptive candidates, what are you going to do, Mike?
Listen, I would still vote for Biden because I think Trump really has so many unknowns. I had dinner with, one of his ex-cabinet members, a very senior ranking one recently, and he said it was just scary during that time, and won't vote for him. It's really telling to me that almost none of Trump's cabinet, people that served for him, will endorse him, right? And there's 5, 6, 7, the Secretary of Treasury, the Secretary of Defense, right? Secretary of Labor, all who've come out and said this guy is dangerous. And so we're in a terrible dilemma as a country. I can't believe we're here, but I think I would far rather have Joe Biden as president than Trump.
We'll end it there. And again, we'll watch for what you believe might happen this year. Bitcoin 100,000. Mike, it's good to see you. Thank you very much.